Our devotional thought for the New Testament today comes from Matthew chapter 13, verse 52. Before I read it, I want to remind you how often you hear people say, how often you hear even in pulpits today, people say, you don't have to read the Old Testament. That's the law and the prophets. You don't have to pay any attention to that. You're under grace. And it's like they've done a Thomas Jefferson on the Bible. Thomas Jefferson took a pair of scissors and cut out all the parts he didn't like. So when they say people removing things, they say they're doing a Thomas Jefferson on the Bible. At some point, brothers and sisters, we have to understand Jesus, rather than discarding what you and I call the law and the prophets, instead teaches us to respect them. Now listen to verse 52 of Matthew 13. Then he added, every teacher of the religious law. Now, those are the guys who taught the law and the prophets. Every teacher of the religious law who becomes a disciple in the kingdom of heaven, born again, is like a homeowner who brings from his storehouse new gems of truth as well as old. He said, now listen, when an Old Testament teacher, when a guy who knows the law and the prophets gets born again and he begins to teach, he's going to get new revelation. But he's also got a lot of old gems there that are still very valid today that we don't discard. Can you think of maybe the greatest illustration in the Bible other than Jesus? Because Jesus was a rabbi. He was a teacher of the law. He was a rabbi. But can you think of another one? How about the Apostle Paul? You know, when Paul went around and taught from the Scripture, when Jesus opened the Scripture, that referred to the law and the prophets. When Paul stood up and from the Scripture presented Jesus, he was presenting Jesus from the law and the prophets. Now, beloved, one of the things you're just going to have to get used to in life is that people start saying things and they really don't understand what they're saying. They just heard somebody else say it and they repeat it. They're not bad people. They're repeaters rather than initiators. At some point, we've got to come back to Jesus, the source, and not just repeat little cliche things we've heard, and understand. An Old Testament teacher, Jesus said, he's got old gems to bring out. Respect those things from those old gems. And he's got some new gems. He's going to be bringing out some truth because he understands who Messiah is from the Old Testament. Now, we have entire courses written today on the Christology of the Old Testament, and people go crazy over it. But this was just the way they preached the gospel then. Jesus taught respect for the law and the prophets.